My friend, negative gearing isn't even that exciting. I'm not going to do a full example with the maths. It is as simple as your deductible expenses exceeds the income you get from a property. Now, I say property, but you can negatively gear anything. For instance, you can negatively gear your ownership in your business by taking on some financing, loaning it to your company, paying that interest, and then giving yourself a salary or a small dividend. Could do the same with a share portfolio in that you take on some debt to buy some shares that produce income, and then you deduct the interest on the loan you took out against the income that you produced. The reason that it's so controversial is it rewards people who speculate on long-term assets, take on a lot of debt, and they get to reduce their tax burden in the short term as well. Because if you're racking up these losses, you should be on a pretty decent income, otherwise there's not really much point. Say you're claiming $10,000 of tax deductions every year, and you are supporting that property through your income. You are paying those extra expenses out of your disposable income. You're at a net loss. Like, kind of makes sense to get the tax deduction, guys. So those losses you're claiming against your income, whatever. But the bit where it gets exciting is when you sell the property, you claim a 50% CGT discount. This means that you leveraged property, took massive tax deductions along the way, and then when you sold the asset, you got 50% of the tax you're supposed to pay written off. I've said it many times, the problem with negative gearing is not the negative gearing itself. The problem is always, and always has been, the 50% CGT discount. It was simply not that much of a problem before that came in 1997. It just wasn't that popular. Unless your property is always going up, then your negatively gearing of it is not really going to yield many benefits because you're still going to be overall in a loss position, like quite a substantial loss. So it all depends on property going up. This is part of the Australian Ponzi scheme of real estate. And the Australian Ponzi scheme, if you try and put an end to it, that's when you lose your political career. I don't think we'll have anyone brave enough to do anything about negative gearing losses or the 50% CGT discount in the next 20 years at least. It just burns too many votes. It's too controversial, as you say. People want to protect the Ponzi scheme, and that's what they'll do with their votes.